I think the Dominican Republic, they're taking us for fools for real. First they said this black couple from Maryland both died of pulmonary edema at the same exact time. Okay. Now they're saying that she discovered her fiance dead and she died from shock. Okay. That didn't happen, Dominican Republic. These people were poisoned. Their bodies actually came back to the US, I believe, like around last Thursday. And the family said they were going to do another autopsy here in the US. And I hope they release the results because I don't believe it's going to match anything that the Dominican Republic has said. I think this is them making an attempt to cover up the real reason why they died. They died from something they ingested, whether by drink or by food in the Dominican Republic. That's how I believe they died. It was a poisoning. So media reports detailing a rash of mysterious deaths of U.S. tourists in the Dominican Republic are nothing more than fake news amid hurting tourism to the country, a Dominican Republic health official claims. That don't sound very sympathetic. And I think that's why a lot of people are getting mad at the Dominican Republic because y'all sound so cold and callous. It's not even funny. The Dominican Republic Ministry of Public Health official Carlos Suero is pushing back against suspicions of foul play in the recent deaths of 9 American tourists, citing preliminary autopsy reports showing the travelers died of natural causes. Yeah, everybody is dying of natural causes. They're not about to implicate themselves in any kind of way. Suero spoke more specifically to the case of Maryland couple Cynthia Day and Nathaniel Holmes, who were found in their room at the Dominican Republic resort on May 30th. You know why? Because it looks bad. That's why they're singling out this death to come to the media with it. They know how bad this looks. And these two died the same way because they were poisoned and not the reason the Dominican Republic is giving. So first they both died of pulmonary edema. Now she died of shock. And we know that didn't happen. The spokesman argued that the pair who were engaged exhibited a lot of medical conditions. Why? Did you follow them around the whole time they were there to notice they were having medical problems? How would you know that, Carlos? That may have been exacerbated by traveling? I don't believe that. Everybody that travels there were healthy when they got there. Even if they were taking a little bit of medication, they were not falling apart when they got there. When they left there, they were either sick or they were already dead. All right. Yeah, there were a bunch of bottles of medication. And see, and ladies and gentlemen, I think that's what the Dominican Republic is basing their autopsy on. They're basing the autopsy on whatever medication they had on them instead of doing a real true autopsy. And the reason why they're doing that is because then it frees them from any blame from these deaths. See, I'm not fooled by what they're doing. They're doing everything they can to do some damage control up in here. So listen to what he says. You can tell this is exactly what they're basing their autopsy on, was the medication they had. Now listen to this. Suero said the couple had heart and blood pressure pills with them, as well as antidepressant. Let me tell y'all something. My mother had heart disease. My mother was diagnosed with heart disease in her 50s. My mother didn't die into her 70s. So just because Someone has heart problems, that doesn't mean they're going to die immediately. That person may be around for the next 20 plus years with heart problems. It's not an immediate death sentence at all. So he's making it seems like, it is. Well, they had these problems, so boom, they're dead. No, it doesn't work that way. You would be astonished with how many years people can hang in there with heart problems. My mother is living proof of that. Well, she's not living anymore, but she was around well beyond 20 years with heart problems. I took care of her until the day she died. So, what the Dominican Republic is trying to make you believe is false. Authorities have noted several bottles of blood pressure meds in the couple's hotel room. Again, that doesn't mean you are going to immediately die because you have high blood pressure. And many of you know that. It wasn't clear who the medications were prescribed to. I'm sure they had a label. Most Americans that are on prescription drugs, those drugs have labels. When you get on a plane and travel with all that medical baggage, this can happen. It didn't happen, Soros. It didn't. And not everybody that died were of the same age. Some of those people were in their 40s. Just like Cynthia Day, she was in her 40s. Okay, the island official noted that Holmes, 63, complained to the hotel staff that he wasn't feeling well, but decided to wait to see his regular doctor in the US after learning the cost of medical attention. Okay, so just like some of the other guests, prior to them dying, they told the hotel staff. They're not the only ones that did that. Okay, so the next day he was found dead alongside his fiancee in their room at the Grand Bahia Principe. All right, so yeah, so they died together. Soros said Holmes passed away first, and that day 49 passed away shortly afterward from the mere shock of seeing the person beside her dead. Were you in the bed with them? I mean, how does he know this? Was he in the bed with these two people? Was he standing over them as they died? Where did he get this garbage from? This sounds like crap. This doesn't sound realistic. It sounds realistic to an idiot. That did not happen. And how would he know he died first and then she was shocked and died unless he was there? How would he have this information? I mean, this is just ridiculous. The Dominican Republic is making themselves look stupid. An autopsy determined the pair died from respiratory failure and pulmonary edema, which is a buildup of fluid in the lungs. They also reportedly suffered cerebral edema, according to the report. You know what? I don't want to hear anything from the Dominican Republic at this point. What they need to do is an autopsy here in the US and get the results of those autopsies. I just got this feeling these Dominican autopsies are not going to match the autopsies done here in the US. Now, the families did say they were going to do their own autopsies here in this country. And I'm glad that is the case. I really think everybody that died on that island, when they get those bodies back, you need to do a separate autopsy and just don't take what the Dominican Republic is telling you. They are trying to free themselves from any responsibility for these deaths. That's what they're doing. And they're also trying to save their tourist season, which is this time of the year. That's what they're trying to do. They're saving face. They don't care about these deaths at all. They don't care. Does this sound like a person that gives a shit? Of course he doesn't. He doesn't care. And the worst part is everybody that got sick, their sickness was associated with food and alcohol. Damn near all of them. Even the people that didn't die. They ate food, they got sick. They ate at a restaurant, they got sick. They drunk from the mini bar, they got sick. That's a consistent pattern. But what this dude is doing, he is trying his best to free the Dominican Republic of any responsibility for all of these people that got sick and died. So he is also insisting that the news going out in the media, it's all fake news. Soros insists it's all fake news. This guy, he don't care. It's all a hysteria against the Dominican Republic to hurt our tourism. So people that got sick and died at your hotels, they only are doing this to mess up tourism for the Dominican Republic. You know what? If this is the kind of attitude they're going to have, y'all, don't go to the Dominican Republic. You know, he hasn't said one thing that would make me want to go there. You know, he's doing, if this is damage control, he failed. He gets an F. This is a very competitive industry, and we get millions of tourists, and which means they get millions and millions of dollars for travelers. We're a popular destination, Soros told Fox News. People are taking aim at us. People die all over the world. He added, noting that 14 died on the island last year. No one said a word. Now everyone is making a big deal of these. Yes, because they weren't dead when they arrived there. Everybody was alive. And when I look at that couple that you're trying to free yourself from any responsibility, I saw the footage of them together. They were happy. They were having a good time. So they didn't even appear sick. When you look at the footage of them together, there's actually video footage of these two together on the island. They were celebrating their engagement. And in the footage, they weren't appearing as if they were sick. They look fine. And they arrived. Despite being on medication, they were fine. There's a lot of people that are on medication, but it doesn't mean they're dying. People take medication every day, and they're nowhere near dying. So this guy is pathetic. What he just did is absolutely pathetic. And this is the kind of message you are getting out of the Dominican Republic when it comes down to this death. Oh, it's only this many people. Y'all being hysterical. Y'all, you're just trying to mess up tourism for us, not taking any responsibility at all. And that alone should send you, if your vacation destination is somewhere else, go there. Nobody should want to go there after listening to this guy. Nobody should want to even go nowhere near the Dominican Republic. Not only are you going to sick or possibly die there, you're going to have people like this dude that don't give a shit. According to him, you died and got sick because you're just messing up their tourism. What a joke. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.